Okay, that's all we get. I don't own the rights to this music. But I love me some Nora Jones and Wyclef Jean. Thanks for ushering us in to today's episode of Day to Day with Dorothy. Don't you get that coffee? Don't do it. Let me put in today's title into the gram before I forget. If you've been watching this show for any amount of time, you know that by the time it's time for me to plop it into IG, I'm like, oh my God, what's the name of this? And with the new Facebook layout, I can't see the name, so I have to like write it on my paper in my notes or hold it in my brain, and then that's like a crapshoot. Don't you get that coffee? Don't you do it? Don't you do it? Okay, post. Here we go. All right. Chitter chat. Let me fold my notes in half. Got my notes going. Hi, financially chic women. Oh, welcome to the show. Shoulder roll, shoulder roll. Today we are talking about why women should not go get the coffee unless they have to or it's their job. So, if you don't know who I am and you've never had a chance to tune into Day to Day with Dorothy, I am Dorothy Enriquez, the principal and founder of The Communication Strategist, a boutique learning and leadership development firm where I help you lead from every seat you sit in. So, I always like to kick off with a little chitter chat as we wait for folks to tune in. And I just can't wait to jump into this content. Hi, Shayla. Shoulder roll, shoulder roll. So look, for Chitter Chat today, I had like a couple ideas that were swirling around in my mind as far as things that we could chitter chat about. So I wanted to share that we completed the weekend retreat for the African American Leadership Program. It was amazing. It was a 12-hour day, so you would think by the end of that, everyone would be super zonked, ready to run out of the door. But the way that these retreats are designed, honestly, it energizes you in a way that is indescribable until you go through it. And what these leaders are walking away with is essentially a primer to help them get ready to step into their greatness, step into their boldness, to walk in an empowered fashion where you can be authentic, you can be congruent, and you can have the self-efficacy that you need, confidence, but like next level confidence, that you need to really be about your purpose on purpose in a more intentional fashion. So to having gone through the program before to now be for cohort 12 the program director and lead facilitator, I am like jumping out of my skin. It was amazing. And the facility that we chose to have the retreat at was epic. It's this place in Racine called Wingspread. Oh my God. Amazing. If your organization is like, oh my God, what's a cool place where we could have our meeting, where we could have our team building, where we could stay overnight if we need to. If you are in the Wisconsin area, that is the place to be. It was amazing. And the food is really good. You know I love to eat. I'm just saying. So, in other news, I have been working on my gel nail game, like doing the polygel nails myself. However, bink, these are not the polygel nails. I wish that my skill level was at this, height. These are press-ons because I don't have like a total system yet, and I'm working on it. I'm working on developing my skill set, but I'm getting better. They look good. They look natural. Most of them are the same shape, same length, but work in progress. Hey, Meek Raculous. Welcome, welcome. Shoulder roll for you too. Let's see what's going on here. Here we go. So there was one other thing that like popped into my head as we were getting ready that I was like, ooh, let's talk about this during Chitter Chat. Oh, so since we're here, and now it's just popped back into my head, we are doing another giveaway. So I bought a couple of these, right, to do a giveaway. What's up, what's up, what's up? Yes. So this is just a notebook. I, lined paper to make the magic happen. I have a notebook that I used this year for business, and I wrote all my business notes in there. And when I was in corporate, I would have my work notebook. And notebooks have set me free. Like, I take them to my meetings, I write my notes in there, I write my ideas in there, I write my, like, things to try, things that I'm working on as far as, really elevating myself at work. And so that's why I'm like, ooh, if we could give away notebooks, that'd be great, because you'll have your notebook to get ready for 2021. And the notebook that I've used this year, on the front of it, it says, "She believed she could, so she did." That has been my 2020 notebook. And it has all of my notes, all of them. Now, yeah, do I take some notes on my computer? Sure. Do I take notes, on my phone? Yes, and I use the notes app for that. But I'm the type, like, I like to write stuff down. So that's why I am giving away a couple notebooks as we get ready to head into the following year. Be bold, take risks, lead by example. Like, this is perfect. So the way that you can win the notebook is, if you're on Instagram, you click the little paper airplane and share this video with 3 gal pals and tag me so that I know what's going on. On Facebook, you just share the video to your page, and of course, drop a little blurb about why you liked it, why it was helpful, a nugget that you're going to take with you as you go ahead and continue to keep killing it at work. So for today, don't you get that coffee? This was spurred on by a conversation that I was having with another coach. Y'all know I'm about that coach life. And I'm about coaches being friends and people within an industry being friends. Now, I know not every industry is like that, and people can be, very much wanting to play their cards close to the vest and all of that. But I'm super grateful that, at least in the leadership development industry, folks are willing to, like, kiki, share, partner together, all of those things. So I was having a conversation with the CEO and founder of Sevenfold Coaching, Felicia Miller Johnson, and we were just talking about some of the different programs that we put on, different types of coaching programs that we have, workshops that we facilitate, etc. So as we're chitter-chattering, we're talking about how we help our female client base to be more agile and to be more successful in the workspace. So we ended up talking about ways that women leaders, especially emerging women leaders, and sometimes even leaders that are a little bit more senior but still want to climb the ladder, how do we shoot ourselves in the foot? So I wanted to share 5 things that, if you are doing these things presently, tomorrow you stop. Because depending on where you are, I mean, you could technically stop today. It just depends on where you are. But sometimes when we're implementing new things, we just need an opportunity to kind of wrap our minds around it and put a plan together. So I just wanted to briefly share 5 ways that we shoot ourselves in the foot, right? And so I've called this episode lovingly, "Don't you go get that coffee." Don't do it. Not unless if you're like the admin and that's part of your job, or it's in your job description somewhere that you are supposed to do things like that. Don't do it. So we'll talk about that in a second, because that is on my list. All right. So tip, or way number 1 that we sometimes shoot ourselves in the foot at work, is allowing people to give you a nickname or not using your full name. So let's say that your name is, and I want you to pay really close attention to this at work, right? So let's say that, so when Felicia and I were talking, we used the example of, like, Teresa. So let's say that your name is Teresa, and you're introducing yourself to someone for the first time, especially if it's a man. I want you to notice, does he try to shorten your name, right? Let's say that your name is Shayla. Does he automatically try to shorten it to Shay, right? If your name is Tamika, does he try to shorten it to T? Don't let people do that to you, and don't do it to other women. So the reason, and notice that men don't do that, right? I can feel the disrespectful as you start this point. Girl, right. So when men introduce themselves, they don't usually give themselves a nickname. "Hi, my name is Sam Jones, but you can call me Sammy." When was the last time you saw a man do that? And I was like racking my name. Hi, Felicia. Coach Felicia's on the line, y'all. Look, so I've already touched on one way that we shoot ourselves in the foot, which is allowing folks to give us nicknames. Now, if your name is, I don't know, Jacqueline, then your name is Jacqueline, right? That's it. Because what we see in the corporate space is that men don't do that. They don't they don't give themselves these nicknames. Hey, my name is Bill, but you can call me Billy. They don't do that. And as I was thinking throughout my career, I can only think of one executive that did that. One. And I've worked in a bunch of different companies and worked with a bunch of different companies. Men don't really do that. That's more of a woman thing. And it's more notorious for a man to try to give a woman a nickname. Hey, Dorothy, can I just call you Dottie? No, you cannot. My name is Dorothy. I can't tell you how many times people try to do that to me, men and women, right? Can I just call you Dot? No, my name's Dorothy, right? So the other piece with the name thing that we may not be thinking about as far as how we sometimes shoot ourselves in the foot is not using our full name. And so Felicia and I were talking this morning, and she was like, when you introduce yourself, you should be introducing yourself with your full name. Like, hi, my name's Dorothy Enriquez. I'm the principal and founder of the Communication Strategist, etc. But sometimes what we do as women is we'll just say, hi, I'm Dorothy. Men don't do that. They introduce themselves with their first and last name. So with this whole naming piece, check your voicemails, girls. Felicia and I were talking, and I was like, do I do this? Shit. Let me go check my voicemail. I literally played it for her so that we could both listen, right? And check in. She's like, yes, exactly. Because for me, people are always trying to shorten my name. So if we're doing that, let's stop. And they can do it outside of the corporate setting, but when you're at work, you want to be at work. And so fundamentally, I think what was great that Felicia highlighted for me, because I'm like, what's the big deal with nicknames? Well, when you think about where nicknames come from, nicknames are for children, right? We have our kids, like I call my little baby Bug. I'm like, hey, little Bug, right? Like, or, I call her Palunchi. Can you imagine if she's like 26 going to work and they're like, hey, Palunch? No, that ain't it, right? Like, no. And then a lot of times, too, when we think of some of the nicknames that we had as children, we drop them, right? Like, your name could be Serafina, and everyone called you Fina Fina as a kid. And by the time you're a teenager, you're like, don't call me Fina Fina. My name is Serafina. That's it. That's it. That's all. Don't be making up these nicknames. Don't keep these nicknames. None of that. Like, this is my name. I need you to call me by my name. And so when we're at work, we want to keep thinking about how we show up so that we can use our first and last name, stay away from nicknames, and then check people. Now, I remember checking people on trying to call me Dot and Dottie, not because I knew this, but because I don't like either of those. Like, I don't like those nicknames. Had they come up with something that I liked, I think I would have been okay with it, right? And then I'd be kind of shooting myself in the foot. So that is stop doing this. Number one, don't do that. Number two, and if y'all have any like questions, go ahead and hit the little question box. You know what I'm saying? And if I know, I'll tell you. If I have no idea, I'll be like, girl, I don't know. We got to do research. Number two, now this one, I have seen this one in action. Please don't do this. If you're doing this right now, stop ASAP. Look, Felicia said, say my name. Check them immediately. Immediate action is what's going to help you win in this place. So, number two, stay away from this. Do not shoot yourself in the foot. This is the same level as don't you go get that coffee. Do not act like you are someone's daughter. Now, for a lot of the women that I usually work with in my coaching programs, they're usually under the age of 35, right? And so, when you are a person of color, look, good black don't crack. If you're Asian, you look young. You're 40, but you look 20. If you're Hispanic, you look young. You're 50, but you look 6. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times at work, people have no idea who you are, and you're often reporting to somebody that might be older than you. And what happens at work is this individual, often it's a man, he starts to look at you like you're his daughter. Oh my God, Dorothy, you remind me so much of my daughter. You guys have so much in common. You all could be friends. Um, I had a son, but I never had a daughter. You're like the daughter I never had. Mm-mm. All of that is a no, right? Do not act like you are your boss's daughter, and do not allow your boss to treat you like you are his daughter. Like the way that he would, go to bat for his daughter, and it's not like in a mentoring or coaching way. It is in sort of like this nepotism type way. You want to avoid all of that. I've watched this play out at work where not only did the woman act like that was her father, he acted like that was his daughter. It worked temporarily. And then not only did it shoot her in the foot, it shot her in her feet, both of them. It ended up not working out for her. He was unscathed by this, but she got shot in both feet. You cannot move this way. It does not help you in your career to act like you are someone's daughter and to allow yourself to be treated like a daughter. That's not good. Don't do that. If you already know like that you're doing that, stop. And now is going to be your opportunity to rebrand. And if you need to rebrand and you need to work on cultivating those relationships, become a corporate hustler today. When you sign up, you get my list of the 3 most important relationships that you need to be cultivating at work and how to cultivate and create your brand positioning statement. Because if this is what you're doing, you've got to rebrand ASAP. ASAP, because this isn't good. Okay, this next one. OMG. I know I'm probably going to come for somebody's edges with this one. Do not, do not, do not, unless you work at the Food Network or something like that, do not have candy and treats and cookies and snacks at your desk. It's a no, right? And you might be like, man, but everyone loves the chocolates and the jelly beans and the treats and the snacks and the cookies. No. Mm-mm. And I'm sure you're already doing the mental math like, I can see why I shouldn't do that. So when we have the cookies and treats and candies at our desk, what it does is it makes our desk or our office a gathering spot. Now you might be thinking like, what's wrong with that? Now I can cultivate relationships. No, because you're not cultivating relationships, you're just attracting everyone. It's like honey, and everyone wants to come and have a taste, and there's nothing strategic about it. And what it also does is it demonstrates that you are acting like whatever companies associate with women, which is being communal, right? So because you're being communal, you should go with whatever ideas that we have. Because you're being communal, when we offer you this salary, you shouldn't complain. Because you're being communal and you're very community oriented and you just want to support folks, when we don't want to promote you, you shouldn't be complaining either. Because you're just the kick it girl. We just want to hang out. It's really fun in here, and you've got all the best candies. You don't even have the cheap candy. You got the good candy. Hershey's, Lifesavers, Jolly Ranchers. You got the good flavors. Maybe you got the Now Laters, and you don't have the banana ones or the watermelon ones. You've got all the good candy. Get rid of that candy. Put that candy inside of a drawer, and you're the only one who knows that it's there. The other piece of this, staying in the office category, get rid of the candy, and if your office looks like a living room, get rid of it. Girl boss office, hey girl, hey. If your office feels like it could be a living room, no, none of that. What man's office do you go to that feels like it's a living room? None. None. I've been I think every single company I've worked at, I've had the chance to go to the CEO's office. They're the top of the top, and none of their offices look like a living room. None of them. They look like an office. And so sometimes we want it to be so comfortable, but when people come to your office and they feel like they're at home, it gives them an opportunity to potentially not take you seriously, right? And that's not what we want. We want them to take you, what you do, what you bring to the table, super serious. So if your office looks like a living room, time for a redesign and get it to look like an office. Hi, Maya, to you. Ooh, that's such a cute name. I like it. It's a cute handle. All right, so we got to get rid of that. So the candy, put it in the desk. I'm not saying you can't have candy at work, but put it in the desk. That way people aren't looking at you as the community provider of all things sweet. And if your office is so cozy that it feels like a living room and not an office, it is absolutely time for a redesign. That goes along with don't you go get that coffee. So, in the spirit of the title, do not go get the coffee. This is the next one. So, this is the fourth one. Do not go get that coffee. Don't offer. You're like, oh, but I want some coffee too. I don't care. Already have your coffee ready and show up with your coffee. Do not offer to go get the coffee, make the coffee, clean the coffee filter. None of that. Because that is putting you back into that communal, like she should want to help. She should want to do this. Ooh, TCS Mommy and Daddy are here. Hi, TCS Mommy and Daddy. Shoulder roll. We're just having some chitter chat about why lady leaders should not go get the coffee. Yep. And a couple different ways that women shoot themselves in the foot at work. So, in the spirit of don't go get the now, if you're the administrator, you cannot be like, hey, I'm gonna stand my ground. I'm not getting nobody's coffee today. All y'all get your own coffee. I wouldn't advise all that. But if you are in a room and you are in a room full of your peers, why do you, sis, have to volunteer to go get the coffee? Don't. Somebody will rally and get their lives together. Do not, and in this same vein of other things, do not do it. Do not volunteer to get the coffee. Do not offer to plan the holiday party. Do not offer to set up for the big event and set up for the holiday party. Do not offer to clean up after the holiday party. All of that stuff is a no. Why? Because these are things that people like to associate with women. This is like building in and fanning the flames of gender bias. Let's not. Let's not do that. Let's not get the coffee. Let's not plan the party. Because it's like, oh, Dorothy would like something like this. No, I wouldn't. I do not want to plan the company party. Now, if that's my job, okay. But if it's not my job, you better volunteer me. I'm not about to volunteer to do that. I don't want to do that. And I don't want to help clean up. I don't want to help set up. I don't want to do any of that. And what we want to do is stay away from things that, pigeonhole us and then make people say like, oh, Dorothy should be the one. She would like to do these things that would be, gender biased. Oh, well, Dorothy, she can't do it because she might get married. And then if she gets married, she might have a baby. So like, no. All of these things that seem little end up being something bigger. Oh, well, Dorothy just had a baby. So let's not ask her if she wants a promotion. Because she's not going to want to. She just had a kid. How do you know what I want? Right? But if we're always shooting ourselves in the foot in all of these little ways that we're not thinking of, it gives people that opportunity and space to feel like they can decide for us. Shinette said that part. And taking meeting recap minute. Yes, Shinette, exactly. Do not offer. If you're going to take notes for yourself, great. But don't offer. Cut it. Because now this is an opportunity for them to put you in a secretarial role. And I'm saying if you're the secretary or the administrative assistant, do your job. But if you are in a room of peers or you all are essentially on the same level and anyone could have the capacity and competence to take these notes, don't volunteer. Now, and of course, when we're in these meetings, we need notes, sure, but I feel like you get what I'm saying. Okay, last one, and then I'm going to jump out of here. Acting like a girl instead of acting like a woman. So some of these we may do, some of these we maybe used to do when we were younger, some of them we may be working on. So there's like a couple things rolled up into this one. Number one, in this acting like a girl instead of acting like a woman, uncontrollable giggling. We've all seen this at work where someone tells a joke and this woman cannot get a handle on it, right? That's got to stop. We can't do that. We've got to get the giggling under control because the goal is for people to take us seriously and understand that we came here to regulate, right? We're competent, we're capable, we're ready, and we aren't, it's like take no prisoners. So the uncontrollable giggling has got to go. And I know if you've been working for longer than 2 or 3 years, you've seen this in action. Number two. Ooh, Felicia and I had a good one about this. This as a handshake. What the hell is this? The limp handshake has to go. This is not dainty. No one thinks that this is cute. All this does is make people think that they cannot take you seriously. If you are guilty of the limp handshake, stop it. That you can stop immediately. Don't ever limp handshake anybody ever again. Ever. Don't. Then, in this same space, being too playful, right? And sometimes you may have male bosses that are trying to kind of get you to step outside of yourself. Um, and you can smile, you can laugh, but you don't want to be so playful that the lines start to blur and people get confused as to why we're all here. That's the last thing that you need, especially as a female contributor. You don't need people blurring the lines. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be so serious that like you can't crack a smile, no one can crack a joke, because on the other side of that, that is a facade that isn't going to help you or benefit you either. So you want to be thoughtful, but you don't want to be so playful that it's difficult to figure out how to take you seriously and where to place you on the spectrum. And then the last two in this space, email correspondence. You don't want to have all of these emojis all over the place, especially when you are corresponding with the opposite sex, right? And you are corresponding as you move up the ladder and up the chain of command. You want to be thoughtful about how you structure your emails. You are still at work. You still need to be professional. You still need to show up like you're ready, right? And even if the CEO sends you smiley faces, and let's say that this is a male to female type of thing, even if the CEO sends you smiley faces, that doesn't mean that you do it back, right? And then lastly, but not least, gum. Get rid of it. When I have sat with these executives, I promise you, at multiple organizations, none of them are chewing gum in meetings. They're just not. So if you are the one who's like, man, I gotta have my Wrigley's. That was like my mom's fave when I was growing up, right? I gotta have my Wrigley's. I gotta have my Red Hot, which is what I used to love. Don't take the gum to work. You could chew gum at lunch, but when it's time to go to the meetings, get rid of the gum. All of these things cause people to subconsciously associate you with being a girl instead of a woman, and this is particularly a hard shot in the foot when you look young. If you're 50 or 60 doing these things, it may read very differently. But for all of us, we're younger, let's avoid these things. Don't do the nicknames. Don't allow people to put nicknames on you, and then don't accept it. Don't act like a daughter, and don't let someone treat you like a daughter unless that is your actual parent, in which case that's a whole nother discussion. Candy at the desk office feeling like a living room, that's got to go. Offering to get the coffee, plan the party, set up cleanup, take the notes, all of that's got to go. And then acting like a girl instead of a woman, nix that as well. So those are 5 ways that, we kind of de-accelerate and take our foot off the gas if we're not thoughtful as we're trying to accelerate our ascent. So I hope this was helpful. I hope there were some nuggets in here, things to think about, things to share with other lady leaders. So please share this video. Click the share button in Instagram, or go ahead and share on Facebook to your page. And as a friendly reminder, this is the luxurious giveaway. I'm very excited about this notebook. Just, regular notebook. So if you want the opportunity to win, all you have to do on Instagram is share this video with the paper plane with 3 of your gal pals and at me so that I know that you did it. And then on Facebook, share the video to your page and an aha of, what was helpful. And then you will be entered into the drawing to win this, I want to say this is like faux leather bound notebook that I love. So I can't wait. Last but not least, if you're like, man, I got to get my life together. Coach Felicia is here. I'm here. If you are looking to add coaching into your mix as you continue to invest in yourself and get ready for 2021, and you're getting ready for end of year reviews, all of that, your leader, your manager is going to give you some things to think about as you head into the new year. Get a coach. And if you're like, man, should I get a coach? I just don't know. If your leader has a coach and you don't have one, it's time for you to get one. That's another telltale sign that it's time for you to invest in you, because the coach who is coaching your leader is like, Yeah, your people need a coach. And depending on where you are and what level you're in, sometimes organizations aren't always going to invest in coaching in some of the other frontline levels. And in the emerging space, in the individual contributor space, sometimes you'll get a coach, a lot of times you won't. And sometimes you just got to do this work yourself. So if you're like, okay, let me explore this and check this out, DM me, email me, and let's see what coaching program is right for you. The discovery call is free. And so we can chitter chat and figure out what makes sense. Let's see. Shinette said for the new age professionals, no selfie and loud and personal video chat during work hours. Yes, that is a good one, Shinette. Absolutely. So if you're doing that, take that off, nix that too, and that way we can get these corporate lives together. The goal is to shine in the corporate arena, accelerate your ascent, lead from every seat you sit in, and demonstrate your competence, capacity, and capability as we get ready to rule the world and redefine the color of leadership. Listen, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. But we got to make sure that we have feet when we get to the top. Sounds fair? All right. So please share this video. I cannot wait to announce a winner next week. And I will see you back here next Wednesday. All right, y'all. Go out there and keep killing it. Bye. Facebook, you always get the laughs. Shoulder roll. Yes. All right, y'all. Until next Wednesday. Bye.